Tempest will be released on 23rd of May, and the first thing you want to do when you class change is farm for the new legendary essences. And in that scenario, when you have a decent farming build in mind, it is going to help you a lot. After going through all the data that is available to us, I have theory crafted this farming build which is going to help you when you first switch to the Tempest class. Keep in mind the class is not released, so I will not be able to show any game footage. Everything is theory crafted, but I am going to share all the data that you need to make your farming most efficient. So this is the spin to win farm build which the barbarians already use. So let's get into the skills which are going to enable this farming build. So the skills we are using here is the crosswinds, blade dance, breaker, squall, and for the primary attack we are using wind edge. The key skill of this build is the crosswinds. Crosswind is going to be a channel skill and you are going to spin when you use the crosswinds. So basically the idea is that the blade dance, breaker and squall, all three of these skills I'm using as a dash, and crosswinds will be used as a spin to win mechanism. So basically you dash from mob to mob, and when you reach to a mob you are going to use crosswind and everything is going to die. For the primary attack we are using wind edge, because if there are no enemies near you, wind edge is going to help you to move towards the enemy. So this is also like an extra dash which you are getting just from your primary attack. But keep in mind the main focus of this build is the crosswind, the spin to win. So before I proceed with the essences, just look at the cooldown of all these skills. You can see it is 6 seconds, 6 seconds or 9 seconds. So that is the main essence of any farming build. You basically use the skills with lower cooldown, so you can use it again and again in a very short duration. And also another purpose of farming build is a quick movement. So with we will be having a lot of dash with us, around 6 dash, and also the spin to win. So this build has high mobility, it has lower cooldowns on skills, and it is very effective. So the main essence for this build for crosswind is the offhand essence cyclone squall. So the essence says crosswind is now channeled and can be cast while moving, causing you and your zephyrs to spin, launching wind blades that damage nearby enemies. So this essence is going to enable this build. This is the most important essence. Rest of the build is very optional. Another essence that goes with the crosswind for this build is the Shrakeworth. Basically if you do a critical hit with crosswinds, it is going to do 4 more additional hits with a blade. So these two are the essences for crosswind. Going forward, blade dance. Blade dance in general, the base blade dance is also good. It is a dash, but you can also use the head helmet which I have shown in this picture. So basically what I mean to say, if you are comfortable with the base version, you can use the base version of blade dance, or you can use this version which you can get from the head essence. Whatever is comfortable you can use it. Basically the idea is to get 2 extra dash with blade dance. Now the chest essence is of blade dance increases your primary attack speed. So why are we increasing primary attack speed? This is to get the Vithus buff. With every time we use blade dance, Vithus is going to proc, and which is going to increase your attack speed. And also we are using another offhand which is the blade dance maximum charge increased by 1. So that's all for blade dance. Moving ahead, we have breaker. Now this is a totally optional skill. This skill is not dash skill, but if you have this pant, this skill becomes a dash skill. So if you don't have this pant, do not use this skill, but if you are able to get this pants, this skill can be pretty useful, because in this, when you use breaker as a dash, it is going to conjure a zephyr, and zephyr, once you conjure a zephyr is also going to attack the mobs. So breaker skill is good if you have this pant. If you don't have this pant, use any other skill that has a dash. Now moving ahead, the final one is the squall. Now this is like the wizard's teleport, and it has iframes as well. But with this essence, when you do a teleport, it is going to damage enemies in the path as well. This is the main hand essence, harmonious castle. So these are all the essences for this build. Once again, let me go to the rotation of this build. You start by using blade dance or any dash skill. You reach to the enemy's location and you use crosswind as a channel skill, just like barbarians do with the spin to win thing, right? This build is only possible with the cyclone score offhand. Now you might say, what if I do not have this offhand? So don't worry, this build, you can still use this build, but it won't be a spin to win build. Instead of the offhand, which is the cyclone call, you can change that skill and use any other skill that has damage over time, preferably, or a burst damage. So in that case, you are using dash and then you are using damage over time or burst damage. In this way, in my opinion, this build is going to work pretty well, but everything is going to depend on this crosswinds and how much damage it is. Although with all the buffs from V2s and everything, I think this basically this is going to work. This should be working most probably. Once this build starts working, I'm going to definitely recommend this build, because spin to win I have played in Barbarian and it feels really good. Moving ahead to set items, I have already told you we are using 4 piece of V2s and 4 piece of Gloom Glide. Gloom Glide is because we are using a lot of dash. So when you use a dash and then you use the spin to win, you are going to have increase the attack speed from V2s, and 4 piece Gloom Glide is going to give you crit damage. And keep in mind, with crit damage you are also going to get this main hand benefit, 4 additional wind blades. So everything syncs up pretty well in this particular build. Now if I have to summarize everything in one screen, this is the build that I am recommending for Tempest for the spin to win build. I think this build should be working very well. In this build we are using all the 8 essences and everything I think suits up, and I think everything has a very good synergy and flow to it. So this is so that's all for the spin to win build. But before I close farming build, I must talk about another essence, that is the rolling surf. And you might be wondering, Sid, why are you not using rolling surf? This essence, this skill I mean, gives you 35% movement speed, but the downside is, you see the cooldown, it is 15 seconds. So 15 seconds cooldown, and this skill lasts for 6 seconds. With beneficial effect duration it can go up to maybe 8 seconds, 9 seconds, something like that. So basically 50% of the time you won't be having that movement skill benefit, and I did not want to use a slot for a skill that for which I'm 7 to 8 seconds I'm not able to use it. But however, this is not a total waste skill. Obviously with movement skill is good. So if you do not so at the start, if you do not get any good essences, because essences is very luck based, right? If you do not you get any good essences, I think rolling surf is going to be very good. Or if you get a rolling surf essence which is going to decrease the cooldown, then definitely I'm going to recommend this essence skill I mean. So that's all about this spin to win build. However, before going off, I have another bonus build, and that is the primary attack build. So in case you are like, I do not like spin to win builds, I'm not a basic fan of spin to win builds, what other essences I should be looking at to help me farm or do the PvE content initially with this class. So this is the primary attack build. This build circles around wind edge. This is the primary attack that we are using. We are using crosswinds and cascade. Basically the idea behind this build is crosswinds is going to buff the wind edge. So crosswind is going to buff wind edge, cascade is also going to buff wind edge. Both of these are going to buff the wind edge, and blade dance I'm using for as a transport skill, I mean as a dash skill. Rolling surf I have used question mark because I'll tell you why. First, I'll just want to show you 2 essences that are very important for a primary attack build. I'm not going to go into much depth with this build. I'm going to show you overall basic concept. So here I just want to show you the first offhand, hurricane hitch, right? Crosswinds is going to empower my primary attack. It's a long sentence. Basically, Crosswind is going to empower me and my Zephyr's primary attack. And same thing for the helmet. Cascade now empowers me, you basically, and your Zephyr's primary attack. So this is going to empower primary attack. Cascade is going to empower my primary attack. Together, Crosswind and Cascade, you are going to activate these two skill and then start using your primary attack, and in that way you are going to deal a lot of damage. Obviously for Wind Edge there are two essences, one in offhand, one in main hand. You should use both of them. Like main hand has find fell. There's one offhand essence as well, and for transport or teleport I'm using Blade Dance. But keep in mind, Cascade is going to empower my primary attack, and it also going to increase my primary attack speed. Zephyrs, now whenever Zephyrs are going to proc, Zephyrs is going to increase primary attack speed as well. So for this build you can use V2s as well. So you can see a lot of ways primary attack is going to be buffed and primary attack speed is also going to be buffed. So these two skill along with Wind Edge is a very good combo, and with these three skills you can use any other two skills whichever suits your build. Now Rolling Surf. Rolling Surf is basically you will be surfing on water and you are going to do primary attack. I have put question mark here because I'm not sure how this exactly works. If these buffs like Crosswinds and Cascade are going to apply to Rolling Surf as well, this is going to be godly, because Crosswind is going to empower primary attack, Cascade is going to empower primary attack, and while doing Rolling Surf we do primary attack. So if these two buffs apply to Rolling Surf, I think it is going to be godly and definitely should be used. But I cannot say right now. Once the games come out, maybe we can test and I can develop more primary attack builds, dungeon builds and everything about Tempest. So that is all for this video. I have spin to win and primary attack builds for Tempest, which is going to help in your PvE journey. If you liked my video, kindly subscribe. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.